allowed that chair for me to sit down. I want to thank you all for that hospitality.
You're welcome.
I really was because I was to go yesterday down there.
Yes.
I was to go. And I was treated really, really, really good.
Yes, mother.
Yes, it was a chair. I made it sit down.
Yes.
As I was not feeling good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
well, you see, there's still loving people in the country, and we love you, and whatever we have to do to help you, we're going to do.
Very kind to me, I couldn't even see about nothing not coming out.
Yes.
But somebody to do everything.
Thank for you.
To put it back in your spot.
I'll call you when I finish work, right?
Bye.
All right, mommy, bye-bye. I had to see about these ladies, and then when I was down and out, and when I now started radio, these ladies used to call in and pray for me, You ain't going through that, I ain't leaving them alone at all. I can't be ungrateful. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hey, you calling to both me?
No. I want to tell Mommy, Mommy, I go come and rub your back for your kill. I rub your leg and think for you. Rub your back nice for you. Pastor Google, you see, these politicians, right? I'm here to defend the ANC. No, they pay them in anything. What apparently what's going on? Them know much about the law and whatnot. Right? And I think them will put the thing in place. If something to benefit Tobago, Tobago has to talk out.
Well,
one or two people from Tobago said that they want the bill and how it is. Even if certain things to straighten up and Tobago talk out, but I don't know, then we can look at the opposition wrong. But I don't know too much about it. Two questions are for you, Pastor Google.
Me?
I'm trying to answer before you come up here. If you think it's right, because that comes as a gift to the children, for them to hand over, going in such a joyful mood, with which all that studied, to pass that exam, going with all the prayers, all the study, all the hard work, the parents proud, those who give them lessons and whatnot, whether it's a guardian, auntie, a neighbor, and they have their laptop or their device, whether it's tablet or what. Don't you think it's right for them to hand over that tomorrow before they set the exam? That they will. Don't you think that I only asked them that they'll be going in a form of depression while going to set the exam? If that is right, then you explain me. Or don't you think it's right, or they have enough time still to hold back that statement, whether it's Ms. Dolly or who? If you think it's right, well, and if the callers think it's right, well, I just say listen. But when it comes to those in Parliament, I think if I get some more education and that bill, I'll be able to answer it. Some people may jump in and say, come let me what this. Some will say, Rowdy, they make it. But, and all of them will say, come let me what this, Rowdy, make it. Ask them to explain anything in the bill for you, they can explain. So, I don't go in party where it concern me. That's too big for me.
All right,
my dick is on the children.
All right, well, so hear what I'll do. Hear what I will do. I've been hearing that talk about the minister said, well, I heard it's alleged that the scene and the minister said that they need to bring back hidden devices. But from what I heard on another radio station is that she said that she never said that. But I'm going to message her now and I will ask her. Well, I don't think she might be in Parliament, but I'll still try. I will message her and ask her if she could come live on this radio station and answer your question for you.
Next thing before I go, very quick. Richmond Street boys, but I'm not attend there anymore. But I received information, I call the principal, that the school sanitized, because I was calling for that since Monday. So the principal together with the parents and teachers, they are sanitized Richmond Street boys. And I want to hear about the other schools. Some of you are calling and say which school has been sanitized for the children for tomorrow.
All right.
And make sure they have something to eat.
All right.
If there's nothing, your neighbor help somebody.
All right, sir. Let me do something. Go on. Hey, let me do my... So we're going to do the COVID-19 update and come back. Trinidad and Tobago, don't touch your dial, stick and stay.
This is the Street 919 FM COVID-19 updates. In case you missed it, the latest COVID positive cases in TNT as of 29th June 2021 stands at new positive cases 185. Total active cases, 7,177. Total recovered patients, 24,518. Total positive cases for COVID-19 as of March 2020 to present, 32,528. Follow the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and avoid gatherings. A message from the Street 919 FM.
Let's get into the money.
All right, Anderson, I just sent a voice note. So she should respond to me in a little bit. And I'll let you know what she says. I told her that you all would like to know. So I did send her a voice note asking if it is true. All right, so as I said, I'm just taking some of your calls until 1 o'clock, where the Prime Minister will be giving his press conference on what's going on. All right, so hear what? I want to play something for you all. You know I like to play my little videos and thing, right? Go onto YouTube and Facebook. I want you to tell me, based on this was Monday, and based on these statements on Monday, are you really surprised? You all are surprised on what took place in the Parliament yesterday? Come on Facebook and YouTube and tell me if you're surprised on what took place yesterday in the Parliament. Based on what you're going to see now, why are you surprised? Or should the nation be surprised on what happened yesterday in the Parliament? So if you come onto YouTube and Facebook, I'm going to put up a video. I'm going to play a video. And from this video, you should tell me if you are surprised, you're taken aback, you're shocked based on what was said or what was done yesterday. What was done yesterday to me was planned. What was done yesterday was not something spontaneous. Let me put it that way. Right? So what was done yesterday was not spontaneous. It was planned. Yesterday when Kingsley called in, and Kingsley was against his leader on positions that she would have taken concerning the Tobago bill. That's what he was saying. Allegedly, he was saying if it's true that the UNC is not supporting the bill, then he's not in support of that and what and what. But I want to show you this. And this is what I said to him yesterday. I said to him that the opposition leader had already said that she wasn't going to support the bill. She said it. But I want to show you something. I just have my evidence. I don't run with TSA and small talk. You know that. I like to show my evidence. So come onto YouTube and Facebook now. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And you tell me if you should be surprised by the behavior of Ms. Bissessa yesterday in the Parliament. Are you surprised? Are you not supposed to be surprised? You all are not supposed to be surprised. This picture just looks so frightening. Right? Anyway, look at this, listen to this, and look at this and listen to this. Look at this, listen to this, tell me what are your thoughts, Trinidad and Tobago. All right, when I'm through playing it, you could give me a call. All right, when I'm through playing this, you tell me what are your thoughts. Ah, boy. Where is it? Okay. What happened there?
Let us remember that it took a UNC government, and before that, it took a UNC NAR government to make major changes to legislation to govern Tobago. The PNM, with all their bleating and crying and crocodile tears, about 100 years and 200 years and nothing for Tobago. What did you give Tobago? What did you give them? It took a UNC government in 1996 together with Mr. Robinson, late president, may his soul rest in peace, to bring substantial legislative change. Then again, in 2013-14, the government I led brought a bill for greater self-governance for Tobago. Okay, it was rejected. But I think I heard one of the Tobago leaders now saying that bill was better than the one that PNM has brought in 2021. Okay, it was rejected then, but we are how many years later? We need to change, we need to take passing times and so on. So here we have a Prime Minister, out of touch, a Tobago-born boy, I say a wee boy, born in Tobago, and seems so out of touch with the people of Tobago. Apart from the 2 PNM representatives, who obviously will praise this bill, every other Tobago leader has come out against the bills. Every single one, without fail, they have totally rejected these bills. And then you want to come to tell us in the Parliament is the UNC blocking it. You want to tell me today, I heard you again, WPC Camille, saying, is the UNC, never put a UNC candidate in Tobago. What does that mean? What is it? What is it that you're trying to say? And you know why we did not? I'll tell you. But then you had to correct yourself. You came back and you're saying almost 2-hour-long boring speech. You see, I made a mistake, you know. Jaylene John was a UNC candidate some years ago. And Deborah Ramsey was also a UNC candidate. And yes, we have not put any UNC candidates. Why? Why in Tobago? Why? Why? You know why? Because we respect the right of the people of Tobago to determine their political arrangements in Tobago. We respect that right. And therefore, we don't put the UNC candidate there because we want the people of Tobago, as they want, to govern themselves. But what you are doing now, you are a centrist party being run out of Trinidad, and you want to dictate to the people of Tobago. That's your boss. So we always put a candidate. What does it mean? It's a centrist party in Trinidad governing what happens in Tobago. And these bills put a chokehold on the people of Tobago, just as they've been doing for Trinidad. These new bills that they're boasting about, these will put a chokehold and stymie the development of Tobago. Let the people of Tobago determine the manner in which they want to govern themselves. Government does not have the political mandate to speak on behalf of the people of Tobago, or even for the majority of the people in Tobago. So, you want to stuff this down people's throat. You want to say this is the best thing that has ever happened to Tobago. Shameless crocodile tears, hypocrites. Because you have never, in all your 60-plus years, you've never really done anything substantial for the people of Tobago. So why do you bring it now? You think you're fooling people? Why did you bring these bills now, in this haste and waste and rush? When the people of Tobago, the leaders of Tobago said, look, just give us 2 more weeks. Give us 2 more weeks. Let me show you the volume of documents. Can we get that report? This
is where I wanted to show you.
Look at the size of this. They said, look, give us 2 weeks more. What would have happened? The sky would have fallen to give the leaders in Tobago 2 weeks more. This is what you came today to debate. Please, look at this. Look at this. Okay? 2 weeks. I can't even hold it. It's so big and heavy. They asked for 2 more weeks. What's so wrong with that? And yet that AG comes to there and talking about Kamala don't love Tobago. Well, Faris, if you love Tobago, I don't want to see hate. I really don't want to see hate. No love for Tobago. You will not even listen to them. Then you tell the Parliament, okay, in the committee stage, let's see what the UNC will say. Will we have amendments? That man now wants me to do his job. You were supposed to bring a bill that would be acceptable to the people of Tobago. No, you know what? Committee stage. You know what? It's his main grouse to do when you listen to him for over 1 hour. His main concern is listen. He wants the UNC amendments. He wants the UNC to do what is his job. Well, I'm not going to help you. You need to talk to the people of Tobago.
So, that's Ms. Bissessa talking about talk to the people in Tobago. And Anderson, I got an answer to your question and to every other parent who is listening to the Street 919 FM. Relate this to all the children who got the misinformation and the lies from Anil Roberts. The minister said the Ministry of Education has not issued such statement. I asked her if the children are required to bring back their devices, which is their tablets or laptops or whatever. And she said to me by a message that the Ministry of Education has not issued such a statement. The next time you hear those kind of fake news coming from the so-called whatever he is, ask him to present a memo or a document or a video of the minister saying it now. Lies again. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm not surprised by the behavior of the opposition. I think if anybody's surprised about that, it will be a strange thing. I would like to comment on the bill. Can I comment on it?
Sure, but you need to load on the radio in the background, though. Whatever sound, whatever you are playing in the background there, you need to lower it down, please.
All right, I'll move to another location. Yeah, I'm a Trinidad-born Trinidadian, and I like to take things without the political aspect with it. I don't support the position of PNM, UNT, or the PDP. I do not support the bill because I believe it will create further division between the people of the island of Trinidad as well as people on the island of Tobago. Right? I think that the bill will produce two governments, one controlling Tobago, and the government of Trinidad and Tobago will really be the government of Trinidad. Right? And I don't support politicians. I think the politicians and them could have done better in trying to unite the people of both islands. Right? The government of Trinidad and Tobago should have been more involved in direct development in Tobago, so that Tobago do not believe that they are just a ward of Trinidad. Right? I don't like the politics, and I don't like the position of the parties towards itself government for Tobago. Thank you.
Yeah, hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Pastor Google? Good morning.
Good morning.
I am a Tobagonian.
Yes.
Pastor Google, that bill will not be passed once Dr. Rowley is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. It has nothing to do with what is in the bill or extra time. Once Dr. Rowley is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the bill will not be passed.
Why you say that?
Politics is being removed. Once the politics is being removed, they would sit down and dissect the bill clause by clause, then make a decision. Ms. Bissessa is saying that the bill is not a good bill. She has not stated one statement to say which one of the clauses is not good. If you are making a statement, why not say exactly what is not good? You have 10 mangoes. You don't have to say all the mangoes not good. You pick it out one by one and say, this one is not good, that one is good. That one is not good, this one is good. But you put the whole bucket and throw it all away because of why? The mangoes in the bucket is Dr. Rowley. How can Tobagonians sit down and taking this whole issue in that kind of decision? Even Farley should be saying, what in the bill, Mrs. Sessa, you don't like? What in the bill that the UNC does not like? Nobody is saying that. Everybody is saying one thing. Can we get some explanation as to what is it in the bill they do not like? Just one statement or two statements. After so many years, we have been sitting here. These people have been having talk back. The only time they get some amendments is 2 weeks ago, or the time that the bill is being presented. Dr. Rowley been saying this since in his election. He said that the bill will be presented either in June or July. If I am wrong, you can go back to the clips. And I am very, very sure that Dr. Rowley did say that bill will be presented in June. There was no election. There was no election when he said that. No, when during the election he said that. He did not know that there was going to be a tie of 6-6. He did not. Pastor Google, if I'm quoting him wrong, please forgive me, because I know that I listened to him, and I cannot say that he had known that there was going to be a 6-6. And that is all the problem. Pastor Google, let Ms. Bissessa come on 91.9 and state exactly what she does not like in the bill. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, well, this is a hot topic. I'm sorry that press conference was on today, No, you see, your station and your program is a factual program, and this is which the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago get a chance to debate. We can't go in Parliament and debate, right? So we get opportunity on your station to hear our views and give our opinion. You see, Pastor Google, as the lady said just now, this bill has been on the table for years. And Dr. Rowley said that this self-governance bill will be coming to the Parliament sometime. Hanif Ghani, George and Tobago, them was chosen by Ms. Bissessa to lead the Green Paper in Tobago. Constant and Christian Moore. There was led to have the discussion and consultation in Tobago about the self-governance. So what they are talking at this last minute, that Hotel Charles and Farley running and sending a paper with questions. So long they're talking, they can't get that. Correct? But you see what you show early with Ms. Bissessa in the virtual meeting, Pastor, and she asked for the document. You really think if she used a statement that the document is so big, you think she read that document, Pastor Google?
Never.
You really think
she didn't?
She didn't read it. So she was not prepared to debate in Parliament. And when the Speaker of the House called on wait to see if anybody would stand up, then Ms. Robinson stand up and ask for the extra time because they was not prepared to do the paperwork. And Pastor Google, this is the problem I'm having, We, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, is paying their salary. And they are not working. In 2005, 2015, that government, the PP government, was taking two days and 3 days off in Parliament and come in. Now they come in Parliament and walking out and abstaining and don't want to support no bill because that's their policy that they're not going to support no bill. So we know with this self-governance coming here for Tobago, they was not going to support. So that game she played, how she walking out, we know that was coming, Pastor Google. You understand? But this self-governance bill has been on the table. I've been following it with the green paper. In Tobago, they had consultation, and now, yesterday, this come here. You want to tell me Hotel and Farley now sending things to amend in this bill? But Pastor Google, all I ask the PNM is to use your radio station as a PR to send out their messages and keep us alert and to work in the East-West corridor, right, in this recovery, to get them museums employed and let the opposition, the UNC, stay in the opposition forever. We don't know what is their motive operandi. They're not going to support nothing. So make this country better. So we have to make up our minds to deal with it.
Right.
But we will have a government that will keep our name afloat throughout the world. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, Pastor Google.
Thank you very much.
Pastor Google, good morning. Pastor Google, a real, true, genuine opposition, a real opposition party in a parliament will work with the government, help with the government to pass bills. Once it's bills to benefit the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that is what a real opposition will do. If it's a bill to disrupt the country, yes, our opposition is there for that. To disapprove a bill, not help our government and condemn a bill. But our real opposition will work with the government to help build a country. But this opposition, what we have in this country, doing the opposite. They are opposing everything. Whether good or bad, they are opposing everything. Right? So, this opposition, Pastor Google, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and 18 MPs, them don't care about Trinidad and Tobago. They don't care about Trinidad and Tobago. The UNC is not a national party. Right? And I'm letting Tobagonians know, don't depend on the UNC to support that bill. They will not support it because they don't care about the people of Tobago. Have a good morning, Pastor.
Pastor Google, good morning. The opposition, she liked to lie too much. She did believe a lie. Remember, she tell the children them the other day when somebody she was saying that you had to learn to lie first. As a teacher, they learn to lie first. Remember, she was mentioning something. Correct me if I was wrong. She was telling the children them that they learn to lie first. Bring back up. If you can find that video, bring it up now. And let everybody here in the country what she say now. I feel that is a good thing. So we can remember what she said, that you had to learn to lie first. So that what she doing right now, that's lying. She will never see power in this country again. No way, boy. No way.
Pastor Google, Goggle, whatever is your name. She had to pull back because everybody realized she going and take back the tablets. Where I work, a lot of my co-workers is saying they are going to take back the tablet. But it come out in the open now, she have to retract the statement. Don't play crazy and like, all you don't know what's going on. You pushing an agenda like, boy, you have to be for your country, boy. Not no party thing. You are a big passer. I don't know if it's a real passer, but you sit down in a station and calling people who needy, greedy, just like Donna Cox. Boy, all you have to grow up, boy. All you have to grow up. Big man like you, boy. So being a P&M sheep, boy, look after your country.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Tobago in the house. I'm saying it as plain as I see it. I was not surprised of what was the outcome of what happened in the parliament yesterday. Because I was observing, I'm hearing people talking, but I'm not really hearing this woman's voice. And never to know that she wasn't there all the time. And then she just show her presence and just mash up the party. Right? And I listened to what Miss Randial said on another frequency. And the woman is quite right. The UNC have missed a golden opportunity to show Tobagonians that she really cares. Because she is talking on behalf of PDP. So you know what happened. This bill ain't go through. PDP days are numbered. PDP days are numbered. And I like how Dr. Rowley put it about Mr. Farley.
You ain't the leader, but you put in your name as the leader. We all know Watson Juke is the leader. I wonder how little boy Blue feeling today. So Pastor Google, I locked on and listening, enjoying the program.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, that person who just talked there, that man who just talked there and talking about it, we calling people greedy. Yes, it have greedy people. It have greedy people just like it have fools like you. It have greedy people who would take from the needy. It have them. And Ishmael can say that too last year. The Pastor Google played that. But the Pastor Google, I think Pastor Google played that with Ishmael, saying it have one set of greedy people out here. It have them.
Pastor Kukukade, I would say this and only this. The opposition of Trinidad and Tobago have for years not understood their role and function in the governance of Trinidad and Tobago. And many people don't seem to understand it neither. Under the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, the opposition forms part of the government. The role of opposition is not by namesake for opposing's sake, but input in the making of laws for the good governance of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a serious misconception in this country of politics and political affairs. Many people do not understand, don't read, and therefore won't ever learn.
Pastor Google, you have to be fair, educate the public. The UNC brought this bill to the Parliament in 2013. The PNM did not support it. Pastor Google, you have to be honest with the people. They didn't support the bill. They brought it back now. And Ms. Kamala them do not support it. What's wrong with 2 weeks of consultation again? What is wrong with that? You have to be fair. Stop pushing an agenda.
Pastor Google, those study the IMS. You just call them IMS. IMS is a word, I think you get it in the dictionary. There's an IMS. What do you know what you mean an IMS? Everybody going to know what IMS. Those study the IMS. He just like Kingsley and all the rest of them who call in. You understand? Kingsley gone, so he take over now. I said the IMS, and they making no sense at all. But he talk something sensible now. Yes, IMS.
Hello, good morning.
You sound like an ends and a 10, a triple left when it comes to ends. Because you didn't make a contribution yet. You didn't make a contribution yet. All over on somebody. You more ends than Kingsley. Yeah, Pastor Google. What are the things that are really happening? All you know what ordinance and what ordinance was used. I think they want to change it. For instance, these apartments and these the last 10 years instead of the 10 years. They wanted to move it 10 years.
But you hear the answer I gave you from the minister?
No, yes, sir, a voice note about...
The minister, yes, and the minister answered and said that there is no directive came from the Ministry of Education saying such.
Okay, but that should be very good, because that was all over the news this morning. Anyhow, to be moving forward. If you see when people want to go back, we had Kamala saying black, and then 1 minute blank. Then we had Rowley saying geometry. Because they're going to take for that. Because you could play Dr. Kika Siba Rowley and the Honorable Kamala Prasad is saying, you could play Rowley saying, I will not support one bill by this government. I told them in the opposition, I will not support them. I'll come up in. And I'm going back there to say, Kamala, them should do that too. I say, thank you for the legislation. See the parliament wrong, as I call it earlier on, and they went wrong by this paragraph or this act.
But
this ordinance what they was using.
All right, but listen to this, right?
Yes.
Now, I played a clip just now with Ms. Bissessa saying that they brought a bill in the parliament about Tobago, and the PNM back then did not support it, right? And so they're saying that Ms. Bissessa would have brought a bill and the PNM didn't support it, so why they must support this bill?
They come back at the only house. I don't see it.
So,
and then support, bingo support here.
Right.
When the lady and the mister, two sensible callers over the Leon. And Mr. and lady, what they're stating? Kamala should come out.
Right.
And say, well, this clause is not right.
Right.
People will not support
and
them.
that is what the committee stage is about. And Ms. Bissessa is saying that she's not going to do that. She's not going to do that.
But we wait to see. I think the person in Parliament all now. But at the end of the day, if we not tell them to get back on the answer, you know when I get back, the only station you have there good is this station. You don't get no error frequency code in Tobago like 91.9. So you want to Tobago listening. A long time, she wasn't this, she should have been listening to. The whole of Tobago listening. So ask people from Tobago to call.
All right, I will do that.
So go by outside our station in Tobago.
All right, I'll do that.
Let me have a Tobago call out and somebody go on my show.
Hey, oh God, not on my show. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. The fella who now talk there, right?
I ain't going to talk about the fella who now talk there. See, we'll go in that back and forth. Do that on other programs, not by me. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Gogo. How are you?
I am good, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Pastor Gogo, a few weeks ago, I heard a piece of foolishness that took place in the parliament. And Saturday again, I have to see a repeat. That was the day of the Prime Minister question day. When instead of asking relevant questions to help the development of this country, they spent the whole day trying to find points to make the Prime Minister and the PNM look bad. And missed every opportunity to try and make the country work good. I was very displeased. And now once again, we have a problem where they're doing the same thing and even worse, this time they walk out. Now, you see people saying that the PLM did not support a bill. Pastor Gogo, if it is today, you come and act and you have children, and your child come and say, at 6 years old, Daddy, I want a car. You will tell him no, right? Or you buy him a toy car. Because that is what he can deal with right now. When he gets 18, he might not show you the responsibility necessary, and he come and say, Daddy, can I have a car? You will say, not yet. When he proves to you that he can handle it, you will say, okay, son, I think this is a good time now you could have a car. Right or wrong?
Right.
So not because the PNM did not accede the last time means that now you must hold the Tobago, not the PNM, not the Prime Minister, but you now holding Tobago at ransom and holding them in mind. Governance by bad mind once again. That is all the UNC brings. Governance by bad mind. When this boy, Jack Warner, was proposing to bring in the timers on the highway for speeding, the speeding guns. And he was proposing to bring the scanners for fingerprints. It was going through until he was no longer a part of the UNC, and then they canceled all the orders. And we have to suffer once again governments by bad mind. When is this going to stop? That is all I will have to ask. When will this foolishness stop? You're up a night.
I hear you, sir.
Despite what you might be thinking,
I'm going for a break and come back. When I come back, we're going to see if the Prime Minister's press conference is up and running. All right? So when I come back from the break, we're going to see if the Prime Minister's press conference is up and running, and we're going to play it for you right here on the Street 919 FM. Very interesting discussions today. But, long time I would have been really fazed by statements. Now, like water and duck back. You know what I mean? I was long time, I used to be real fazed there. Real fazed by statements made by, callers or voice notes. But now, I'm just like, yeah, right. What? Is that all? Is that all? Really? That's what you can have voice note to say? Wasting your precious money on internet. Talk about the issue. Don't talk about me. Talk about the issue. Come back after this Trinidad and Tobago.
Say, oh, I did it, boy. Father will provide. Jesus will supply. Good Lord, more than enough. More than enough. My Jesus will supply. And when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Badang, in the presence of my enemy. Remix, watch it. Corona in my country, Jesus will provide. So when me don't have nothing, me no worry. Jesus will always provide for me, cause Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. And when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Madam, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. He better than kiss and quail. He keep on putting bread on my table. Lindos and Freddy, them ready. Jesus Christ got the recipe. He's my chief baker. So my bread basket always run over. So it overflow. And now I know. Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. But when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. But Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. And He's my provider, my Jehovah Jireh, and my supervisor. So my blessing run over. And so it overflow. And now I know, I like this part, watch it. It's like you're doing it for spite. No matter what, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. I will not go with them empty. Jesus, this one is for the elders, Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. So when you can't find your medicine in the pharmacy, Jesus will, Jesus will provide.
This is Wayne Delamore, Head Consultant and Director of Natural Health Solution. With over 15 years of experience in clinical nutrition and microscopy, we specialize in early detection and prevention. We incorporate evidence-based nutrition and science-driven analysis. Tune in to our educational program every Wednesday at 9:05 to 9:55 a.m. right here on the street 91.9 FM. For appointments, call 222-2189 or 304-5816. At Natural Health Solutions, we offer a natural solution to healthy living.
Land Capital Certificates is a passive income service company located at Princess Margaret Street in San Fernando and 5th Street South Woodbrook. At Land Capital, investing is made simple. You invest with us. We make the investments and then you collect returns either monthly or yearly. We have 5 different options you can choose from, and each investment option comes with different benefits starting from TT $5,000. For more information, contact 399-0307. Land Capital Certificates. It's all about you.
I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch. Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
You have been asking for him, and now he's on every second and fourth Friday from 1:15 to 1:45. Pastor, lawyer Dave McKenzie on the street, 919 FM. Call him and ask him about any legal matters that may be confronting you. Also, you have questions about the Bible, about spirituality and religion. He is able to answer. Join Pastor, lawyer Dave McKenzie on the street, 919 FM. Every second and fourth Friday from 1:15 to 1:45, as he will be dealing with legal matters and matters of spirituality on the street, 919 FM.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
At Health and Wealth Lifestyle, we offer a wide range of services: blood analysis, iridology, acupuncture, foot detox, foot massages, gua sha, hot stone therapy, fire therapy, legs and feet massage therapy, mineral scrubs, acrotherapy, cupping.
We also have a wide variety of supplements: silver, zinc and magnesium, body light, and lots more.
We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle operate our business in a clean, safe, and comfortable environment. We frequently sanitize our compound and abide by all the COVID guidelines that are currently in place.
So come on down to Health and Wealth Lifestyle, where we treat you like family. Book your appointment today. Call us at 1-868-275-8359.
Or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth. And prevention is always better than medication.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in San Luis Grande is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guests on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sundays, Ministry of Worship Children's Hour and the Word from 1 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Wednesdays, we deal with current affairs from a biblical perspective from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org. Facebook, email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
The This is Bishop Aaron Williams from the Divine Problem Solving International Ministries, inviting you to be part of our broadcast on any given Thursday night from 12 midnight right on to 5 a.m. on Friday morning. And this broadcast is called Early Morning Gospel Market Program. Then we have on Tuesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. the Holy Ghost Gospel Pharmacy. If you are sick and ailing, you could get from this particular pharmacy, from the pharmacist, the good things of life. Hallelujah. And any Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, break into the house of the Philistines. Hallelujah. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, hearing the babel of false doctrines that you encounter daily, it's about time you get close to God. God's word direct from his throne room in the name of Jesus.
God has good plans for his people. Why do you worry so much?
Now there's a new way to pay your electricity bill.
Quick pay your bills today. Quick pay, it's a whole new way. Online, pay your bill one time. Yes, there is a whole new way to quick pay for your electricity. Yes, they made it easy. Just enter your account number. 4 clicks and it's over.
Introducing Quick Pay, a new service from the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission that lets you pay your bill online with your credit or Visa debit chip card. Just enter the account number and contact information. Click Pay and you're done.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
And this one I just for you. Think it just has something positive. Something positive. Oh, I did it, why, just you. I think it just came off positive music. My friend them down in the ghetto. And this one I just for you. Something positive. Oh, I did it, just you. When you with you, I make it just play more positive music. But that's how my friend never fight ever. Play more positive music. Too much a negative thing going on, boy. Positive music. But that's how my friend never fight ever. Play more positive music. Watch it. Push all of the positive artists and them push them way behind. And them know I hear it's not blessed messenger, but they rather promote offline. And then they want to know why don't know Trinidad. Love until why it got so much crime. She's negative music that they're playing. That I'm messing with the youth, them mind. I'm making the same more positive music. So I'm a friend, them a fighting back. Too much a negative thing going on. Positive music. I like this verse by positive music. But deep in my hands, in my thought, every note. When my bottle comes in, youngsters touch the road. I pull in my friend and close at the hell. When them listening song from Vibes Cartel. Look at what I want up today, yeah. In my lock up in a jail cell. So just to sing positive music deep in my heart. In my heart, so my feel compelled. Madam, play more positive music. And that's how my friend them a fight there. Play more positive music. Too much a negative thing going on. Why? Positive music. And that's how my friend them. And I just stop. Anything in it. We'll go to the next one.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago. So we're getting ready to go live. Yes, we're getting ready to go live to the press conference with the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley. All right, so stand by. We're getting ready to go live to the press conference. If you are on YouTube, you can see the press conference. If you're on Facebook, you can see the press conference. All you have to do is to type in The Street 919 FM on Facebook and you will see. And on YouTube, all you have to type in is IWER TV and you're going to see. Yes, I'm there. If you come on, you're going to see me there. Yeah, I'm sitting here waiting for the Prime Minister to come on. All right? So we're waiting for the Prime Minister. While we wait for the Prime Minister arrival, to speak to the nation about this autonomy bill. I'm going to take some of your calls. 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 771-1791, 466-5391. Remember, if you want to see the press conference, you just have to log on to our Facebook page and to our YouTube page. If you're at home and you're listening, you can do that now, and you will be able to see what's going on. They take it off? Well, what is this? Let me go back to me. All right. So you're going back to me. All right. You're going back to me. All right, Trinidad and Tobago. So we're waiting for the press conference to start. As soon as it starts, we're going to take you live to the press conference. All right? As soon as it starts, we're going to take you live there and hear what the Honorable Prime Minister has to say. So the Tobago bill, the Tobago Autonomy Bill, yes, what date was I was telling you some of the things that are in the bill. And you know what? I want to show you something. Boy. Log on to Facebook and YouTube. I have something to show you. Now, Ms. Bisasa had a press conference, right? Ms. Bisasa just had a press conference. And I want to show you what Ms. Bisasa did with the bill. All right? I want to show you what Ms. Bisasa did with the bill. You're all talking about, the voice note are telling me I need to be balanced. And I'll be in balance. Join me on Facebook. Hey, I can't show you yet. The Prime Minister is here. So I think I am out of the Prime Minister is here. So let me stand you straight over to the Prime Minister, who is at the podium, and he's ready to have his discourse. All right? Hey, okay.
Where we're at. Because there's one development which I'm a little concerned about, and that is that I have not seen, while we rely very heavily on the media to inform the public on what is in effect a major development in the country, a lot of it has been done, but I have not seen a present situation presented in the context of a proposed situation. Nowhere in the media have I seen that this is what exists now with respect to the Tobago House of Assembly, and this is what is being proposed to change that so that the average person could see what is proposed. I see all the reasons why it is being proposed. We had a long 2-day debate in the Parliament, a lot of coverage in the media, most of it very good, but I have not seen it juxtaposed in a way that John Public could say, okay, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be if the changes are made in the Parliament. So I want to ask that that be done, if only for the public, and I think that's important. Interestingly enough, I have just had the summary of a press conference by the opposition leader, and it makes my request even more urgent to the media, because in the absence of that kind of information, I must say that I am extremely disappointed at the behavior of the opposition leader in using that vacuum I just described to set about to do exactly what I think ought not to be done, which is to mislead the public on this matter. Let me respond to a couple of the things that I've just been informed that the opposition leader has said. But before I do that, let me back up into yesterday. Yesterday, during my winding up of the debate, the opposition leader, like a churlish schoolchild, charged into the Parliament and accosted the Speaker and accused the Speaker of all manners of evil, and then she stormed out of the Parliament. That was the involvement of the opposition leader of Trinidad and Tobago in a debate as fundamental as this. Now, today she calls a press conference and she says that this development ought not to be taking place during a pandemic and a state of emergency. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the parliament is functioning in Trinidad and Tobago. The state of emergency is not interfering with the functioning of the parliament while the parliament is in session. We have parliamentary sessions going on. We have to leave early because of a curfew and so on. But in terms of the content of the matters before the parliament, the state of emergency has nothing to do with that. And the life and the parliament of the country continues during the pandemic. The pandemic was declared early last year. I think it was December 2019, if I'm not mistaken, thereabouts. But all of 2020, we had parliamentary sessions. 2021, the parliament continues. And while we are cognizant of the requirements for the health protocols and so on in the parliament continues. So it is quite ridiculous for the opposition leader to say that her problem with these developments is because it's happening during a pandemic and a state of emergency. But I'm not surprised, because before August of 2020, she was up and down the country calling for the election. Call the election now, call the election now, call the election. The election was called, the election was held, and after that, she started accusing the government, accusing me of holding an election during a pandemic. But I tell you, had the election not been called, she would have had a lot to say about the government and the Prime Minister wanting to hold on to power and being afraid of the electorate. Because that's what's happening now. Yesterday, when I was called upon to enter the debate, it was only because the Speaker had looked for possibly another opposition speaker. I saw the Speaker look on the opposition side, and I expected somebody to rise from that side. Because the arrangements in the House are that I think you have 7 on their side and 8 on our side at any one time. That is our response to the protocols in the House. It is not the fault of the government or the Speaker if in organizing their business in their leaderless way, at that time when the Speaker looks to the opposition for a Speaker, that nobody was there who was in a position to rise. Or there was no one there who indicated an interest to speak. Who was there, as far as I'm aware, had already spoken. Or if they choose not to speak. But the bottom line is, the Speaker did look to get a speaker on their side and nobody rose. It is the normal scheme of parliamentary business that the Speaker will then look to the other side. And looking to the other side, on our side, the Speaker saw me indicating that I would speak. And I was scheduled to wind up the debate. And if there was nobody else, because we had no more speakers as far as we were concerned, and the opposition presented nobody else, so you would have seen in 2 press conferences, yesterday evening and this morning, the opposition leader could not say that the Speaker prevented Mr. X or Mr. Y from speaking, who wanted to speak, or the Speaker curtailed somebody's speech, or the Speaker excluded somebody on their side, because it didn't happen. The calling of the press conference yesterday and the storming out of the Parliament was because my time was extended, not that I was unauthorized to be on the floor, that it was extended. And how does one extend any speaker's time? You put a motion to the House. A motion to the House is put. We don't need the permission of the opposition to put a motion to the House. The leader of government business thought it was important enough for me as Prime Minister to say some more to the country on this matter and asked the House by way of a motion. The motion was put to the floor. It was voted upon. And surprise, surprise, the government majority carried the motion. That is how Parliament functions. So I don't know what is the complaint of the opposition leader except that her own disgraceful and delinquent conduct was now stark because the motion to the House allowed me to continue. But the bottom line was, here was this debate concluding, this far-reaching debate, and the opposition leader didn't even spend, how much time she spent in the House? A minute to curse the Speaker, and the day before she passed through to say, here I am, and left. And that was her way of dealing with this very important matter. That is not my business, that is the UNC business and the country's business. But I said the Parliament functioned properly. We indicated what we were going to do. We indicated 2 days of debate, and we did have 2 days of debate. I can't hold myself responsible for the content of what is put into debate other than my members and myself. We are not going to speak for the content of the opposition. We had 2 days of them saying over and over and over and over about the consultation, which eventually the Speaker intervened and indicated them about tedious repetition. But today now, Rowley hijacked the debate. I plead not guilty. I hijacked no debate. I had a team, I led a team on the government side, and a number of my members spoke in the debate. And at the end of the second day, when the Speaker looked on my side, and I was available to speak, I rose to speak, and I was allowed to speak as is my right. So I hijacked no debate. And of course, it is being said today that I'm mortally afraid of a UNC person speaking after me. Really? To say what? To say what? What am I afraid of? Did I say anything yesterday which has been or could be contradicted by any truthful statement coming from their side? So whether I had spoken first or last, I would have said what I said yesterday. And I stand by what I said yesterday. So it has nothing to do with what time I speak. It might be important to her about who speaks after her. But it doesn't matter to me when I speak. It is the content of what I have to say. And of course, call a press conference today to say, I boof Duke, Hochoy, Farley, and the opposition. I seem to recall the only time I spoke about Watson Duke yesterday was to repeat what Watson Duke said about the PDP's position on secession. The opposition leader taking issue with that. I spoke about Hochoy Charles in the context of him being the leader of a political party that gets under 10% of the votes in Tobago. And at the level of the House of Assembly, under 1%. The opposition leader called a press conference to take issue with that. I spoke about Farley. Farley wrote to me. He sent a communique to the House. As a matter of fact, that came during the debate signed by himself and Hochoy Charles. It's a correspondence from him. I spoke to that. And of course, I spoke to the opposition about discharging its responsibility under their oath of office. So that basket of accusations, press conference style by the opposition leader is irrelevant and immaterial. And of course, she explained her absence from the House, saying that it was part of the COVID restrictions. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition leader could say what she wants. She was allowed to be in the House for the 2 days if she wished. The only arrangement we have in the House about COVID is the number of members at any one time who is in the House. So 8 members on our side at any one time. If a 9th person come in, whoever that person is, one who is there has to go out. It is for the leadership of each team to determine who has to be in there depending on who is to speak. So if the opposition leader, member for Siparia, finds herself not being inside the chamber when she is due to speak, that says a lot about her. And it says about the speaker and the rest of us in the House. And to come and blame the speaker, because the opposition leader is not the only person who did not speak on their side. A number of other persons did not speak and had the right to speak and were expected to speak. It is they who choose not to be in the chamber when it was their turn to speak. And that has nothing to do with COVID, unless they want to say that they are COVID. Then it is said that I told you about the vacuum that existed because of nobody comparing existing with a future held in the bills. She said that the government has gutted the clauses of the bills. We have done no such thing. Maybe they expected us to do that. And that there are parts deleted that leave the people of Tobago with nothing. The opposition leader goes on to spread misinformation, saying that the brand new bill are all amendments from no consultation. That is not true. And of course, most importantly, that the island government bill was never laid in the parliament. I have my colleague here, the leader of government business and the Attorney General could answer to that. But if you were following the debate, you will have to ask, what madness is that? The bills, the draft bills that came from Tobago, I have heard it said that those bills were supposed to be passed into law as is. No, what craziness is that? There were draft bills in the form of a proposal that came from Tobago to the cabinet. Those bills could have been amended at the cabinet. We had the authority so to do. We didn't do that. We brought it into the parliament. And those draft bills is what I brought to the parliament, and I made a statement in the parliament. And the parliament sent those draft bills to committee to deal with the issues contained therein. It is the Joint Select Committee report which has generated the 2 days of debate that we've had, because the draft bills were used as the basis for widespread consultation and were then reconfigured into something to capture what the consultations put into the process and presented to the parliament as bills to effect the change that is supposed to be made. Is that too difficult for the opposition leader to understand? So to come here today and talk about bill being gutted and Tobago being made a colony of Trinidad, the opposition leader is being outright irresponsible. And as I said yesterday, what her strategy is, and their strategy is to feed dissent in Tobago, to create division between Trinidad and Tobago by telling them something like that. Because the average person in Tobago is not a lawyer who will go and read these documents. The average person, whoever they are, would never be reading these documents. They rely on the leadership of the country, whether it is their MP, their prime minister, their opposition leader, whoever, persons who have the responsibility to read, understand, and be responsible in transmitting the content to the people. And today the opposition leader, once again, has set about to tell untruths, naked untruths, on a serious matter to a section of the country about a matter which is in the parliament which could be easily checked. The bills, contrary to what she said in the press conference today, in furtherance of her ridiculous conduct yesterday and her delinquency yesterday in the parliament, I want to tell the people of Tobago, people of Trinidad, and the people of the world that the two bills that came to the parliament, one, a bill to amend the constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, to entrench in the constitution by special majority the existence in Tobago of an autonomous executive body remains intact and is alive and well in the committee of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. I also want to say it is a complete falsehood to say that we never laid a Tobago Island government bill and there was nothing there for Tobago. Because you would have heard today the island government bill that was laid was debated today in the absence of the opposition because two members of my side, the leader of government business and the Attorney General, spoke to the country on that bill. If it wasn't laid there, how could they have debated it today? And if the opposition had been in the parliament rather than be outside telling lies to the newspaper, they would have been in the parliament taking part in the debate on the island government bill. That is the extent of the irresponsible conduct of the opposition leader leading a team of people. And the reason why I'm raising their conduct, not that I'm concerned about it, because that is for them and the country as a whole, but they are aiming that misconduct at the average Tobagonian to mislead the Tobagonian that this is what happened in the parliament, this is what this and this is what so, when it is not true at all. Maybe they expected us to amend the bills, to remove from the bills the special majority requirements and to vote with our 22 and recreate what exists there now. What sense does that make? What sense does it make to remove the advance step that we had put in the new bills, take out the special requirements, use the simple majority and recreate the THA that already exists? And the opposition leader expects that we would have done that. We have not done that. But she calls a press conference and says that we have done that. That's what you call anticipation. But she was wrong. We have not done that. And I repeat what we have done. We had a 2-day debate on all these matters. And whether we agree with each other or not, the record of the parliament is there for all time as to what was said. But most importantly, what I really call this press conference to say to you today is that for the first time, after a debate in the parliament, after a long period of 7 years of consultation on this issue of internal self-government, everybody in this country now has a written documentary form in legal position as to what self-government for Tobago could be. The offering of what could be, the expectation of what is wanted went off through the debate and the consultation. A joint select committee of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, not the PNM, not the UNC, but it has so far been signed by the PNM side, by the independent group. It has not been signed by the opposition. And the opposition is needed because the 22 votes of the PNM cannot do it. And it cannot get to the Senate to get even a single independent vote in the Parliament. The independents signed the report of the committee. But because it is not now going to get past the House, the independents in the Senate cannot touch it. And the only way these bills are going to grow beyond where they are alive and well now in committee is if the opposition decides to take a position on even a clause. Because after 2 days of debate, not a single line of amendment has come from them, and they have not taken issue with a single item of offering. But instead of that, you had the leader coming out today and calling a second press conference, misleading the public that the government has taken out the guts of what was in the bill and offered Tobago nothing, and using terms about colonial master and oppressing Tobago and all of that, which is completely the opposite of what has happened. What has happened is that the bill that offers Tobago lawmaking powers and all other powers, that bill is still alive and well in the parliament, waited to be voted upon. But something was said here today in the press conference about asking for 2 more weeks. Well, the parliament goes on recess. The parliament goes on recess next week. Right? And the bills are in committee, and they will remain in committee, alive. And we come back here in September, and those bills can die when the parliament dissolves at the end of the year, or we can ask that they be extended into the next term, waiting for a day when there's enough parliamentarians in the parliament who want to give Tobago what the bills contain. So contrary to what the opposition leader is saying, that there's nothing on offer, there's a huge amount on offer there to be agreed upon by more than 22 people in the parliament. And that is where we're at. But the progress that we have made is that all these years, internal self-government has been a nebulous term. What exactly does that mean? How does that impact on our constitution? How does it impact on the authority of a minister to be a minister for Trinidad and Tobago? How does that impact on the Tobago Island government being able to borrow money and spend it in Tobago in a new arrangement? How does that impact on the public service in Tobago? How does that impact on the land administration, deeding and titling in Tobago? How does that impact on the power of Tobagonians to get involved in even offshore banking in Tobago and duty-free shopping in Tobago as part of economic activity? How does that do it? It all is there in the powers of an island government, which today has not found favor with an opposition in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the long and short of all of it. So if that is their position, don't have that position and then go and call press conference and then go and speak untruths to the population, because it is there in the parliament. It is there on the parliament website. It is there in documentary form in a booklet. We have amended nothing. It's still there. Because we said to Tobago, I was in Tobago 2 Mondays ago, I think it was, and I said to Tobago on the media, our 22 seats cannot do it. It would require at least 9 more seats from other people in the parliament. Those seats are under control of a delinquent opposition leader, as I'm seeing now. But I thought that the issue of Tobago and its future would have been sufficiently important that the opposition leader would have said, on this occasion, I can stop being petulant. I can at least come into the parliament chamber. Because the office of opposition leader is an office of state in this country that carries responsibility with it. I held that office for 5 years. And one of the things I did as opposition leader in support of that person as prime minister was to lead my team to vote for the budget brought by the government. Never happened in this parliament before. But I took my responsibility as opposition leader very seriously. There was never a debate in this parliament of any consequence where I as opposition leader was absent from the parliament. I have never abused the speaker or blamed the speaker for my inability to contribute in a debate. And I have never been afraid of consulting or confronting any person with a different point of view. Because I don't have to be right all the time, but I crave the right to express my view and to believe in what I say. So whether I speak first, whether I speak last, the content of what I have to say does not change. I would have expected that, having called a press conference to defend Duke and accusing me of buffing him, that what she was going to say this morning, that what I said about his manifesto is not true. That there isn't a statement of public position of the PDP and its expectation. I would have expected her to say I was wrong, that Farley didn't sign that document with Company and Hotre Charles as political leaders, when in fact, he is not the political leader. I think he has a post in the organization. Didn't say that, didn't say like that. I would expect that she would have said, yes, they have amendments to come, or they've made amendments which were not brought to the floor. 10, 12, 15 people spoke yesterday for them, and not one of them engaged the gist of the matter. Should Tobago have an island government? Should Tobago Island government have lawmaking powers? Should Tobago as an executive body be allowed to borrow on its creditworthiness? Should Tobago get 6.8% of the budget? Or is it 5%? Or is it none of those things you touch? And of course, try to personalize a serious debate with lies and subterfuge. The debate was useful because Tobagonians now know what internal self-government means in real legal documentary terms, what is available or could be available if the required votes are had, and more importantly, knows where we stand, where others stand on the issue of internal self-government. We can answer all those questions now. What are you supporting for Tobago? It's there. What are you not supporting for Tobago? It's not there. Because we said very clearly, this question of a hard border between Trinidad and Tobago and a new boundary, a maritime boundary, we can't support that because it has serious consequences. The question of two parliaments in Tobago, we said we can't support that. It's better if we have a parliament that has an elected component and an appointed component, including independents appointed by the President of the Republic. And in all that we do, we say we stand with Tobago's executive authority, the island government, being within the country, the unitary state of Trinidad and Tobago. That's our position. Can't hide from that, won't hide from that. And those packages of misinformation by the opposition leader are to be dismissed for what they are. And the opposition leader is to be called upon by the national community to do her job or give it to somebody else who is prepared to do it. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. Oh, yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. There's an underpinning of parliamentary action and procedure. It says Parliament regulates its own business. That's a fundamental principle in Westminster parliamentary procedure. Parliament regulates its own business. And how does Parliament do that? The members of the House, by way of motion or otherwise, put a motion to the floor and the House adjudicates on that. That takes place. That's what takes place. Even if it's written in the standing orders that you do, they are a guide. The standing orders are a guide. Unless you move under a motion, you have to follow that guide. But you can move under. Sometimes we come and we put a motion to waive the standing orders. Standing orders say you require notice, 3 days notice or 6 days notice. That's what it says, the standing orders. You put a motion to the floor and you ask the floor to waive the standing orders. Once a motion goes to the floor, it is the majority that carries. So it follows that if the government's majority votes for it, the minority will have its say, but the government will have its way. So to come and hide behind the standing orders for your absence in the parliament and say, well, you were in the bathroom or you were smoking on the balcony or whatever it is, you are just trying to explain yourself in a ridiculous way. Because if you know you have to speak in the parliament, you conduct yourself in such a way to be there. And if a motion is put to the floor, I thank my colleagues for wanting to hear a bit more of what I had to say. Because I'll tell you what, if when the motion went to the floor, there weren't enough people there to say, yes, I continue, I had to stop. I had to stop. If my colleagues had left to go outside for whatever reason and there were only a minority of them on our side, when the motion went to the floor and the nays had it, I would have had to stop. But the motion and the standing order says it expects a motion like that at any time. And when a motion like that is put to the House, it is put to the floor without debate.
Was there a motion put to suspend the standing orders?
No. A motion was, we have an arrangement for timing in the House. Before the debate started, right, the government indicated to the Speaker and to the House an adjustment in what we are accustomed to for the last few weeks, so as to allow a bit more time, because given the nature of the business, for example, the leader, the chairman of the committee, the Joint Select Committee, was required to present the report in its fullness. Because we knew that half an hour or 20 minutes, the committee chairman could not report on the committee's work, right? 3 years of committee work had to be properly reported because we want to inform the public in detail. So it was, the permission was requested for the mover of the motion, who happens to be the chairman of the committee, to have a longer time. And we went, the responding person on the other side would have an equivalent time. They took as long as they wanted. So we didn't want that our speaker took 90 minutes or 2 hours, whatever, and the other person had 45 minutes or half an hour. We said equivalent time. And we expected that there'll be other speakers on both sides who would want to say a bit more on the matter. So we made provisions for 90 minute and 60 minute, and of course the leaders on both sides will decide how that is used. And it stands for every one of us, even those with the 2 hours and the 90 minutes and the 1 hour and the 20 minutes. The provision is there that if you want an extension for any one of those speakers, you put a motion to the floor. So somebody who was falling to 20 minutes, if at the time when they were speaking, they were in the middle of something and the House felt we want to hear more about that, you put a motion to the floor to extend it for whatever time you ask, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. That is what is there. So for the opposition leader, SC MP, to come and say that that is a problem, that is a non-issue. And then having said that as a non-issue, goes on now to make a whole treatise of lies about what the government did with this bill and that bill and to Tobago and so on and so on and so on. This is ridiculous. At any point in time, as a speaker on the floor, a motion could be put to ask the House to expend the Speaker's time. You look at the U.S. Congress and you would see people talking. They might have 5 minutes or 3 minutes to talk. When they're almost finished, they only have half a minute left. One of the other persons asks, you see, you take a minute from somebody else, and the person could end up talking for 10 minutes. Because if what they're saying is of interest or of import to be heard and the rest of the House wants it, the chair allows a minute from that person. So that person, when that other person comes to talk, instead of having 3 minutes, you have 2 minutes because you ceded a minute to somebody else. So let us not mislead our children. And the opposition leader must not be allowed to call press conference here and disturb the whole country with all these untruths. I mean, when the MP from Couva South intervened to make some statement, the Speaker had to point out to him the standing order says these motions are put without debate. You can't debate it. If you're asking for extra time for anybody, it is to be put without debate. And of course, the last point I want to make is that while the opposition leader is talking about abuse of Parliament and abuse of the standing orders, who abused standing orders yesterday? She barged into the House. That's the first abuse. Nobody was sure for the whole 2 days. Barged into the House, stood while the Speaker is standing, and faces down the Speaker, making accusations and indignations while she is standing as the Speaker is standing. That is an abuse of the Parliament. That is disrespectful. She's not only delinquent, but she's disrespectful. And then comes outside now and says she has no confidence in the Speaker. It is more an issue of whether her supporters have confidence in her. To be absent from the Parliament for 2 days and then barge in while the motion is being wound up, to take issue with the Speaker about an extension on a speaker's time that is provided for in the standing orders and standing there facing down the speaker. Her conduct is what? Is an abuse of the parliament. And her conduct outside talking to you, the media, and attempting to mislead Tobagoans and Trinidadians about what is in or not in the bill, that is an abuse. Because she carries behind her name SC, MP, and she is not telling the truth to the population. And I ask you in the media, there's a lot of information to be transmitted to the public now in what the new bills contain. Just juxtapose it against what the existing situation is so that the population could see that there's a difference between what is and what might have been or what could be. That is not for me to answer. All politicians have, matters that you could inquire about, and I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. It's only when you enter the realm of untruths that it becomes an issue. Whatever the strategy is, whatever the intention is, you have to assume it's honorable. When it gets to untruths for a purpose of guiding the narrative in a particular direction, then there's a problem.
Yesterday, was there effectively a transfer, or the allegation being made, was there effectively a transfer of speaking time from Robinson to yourself?
No. Let me tell you what, there's no transfer. I have a right to speak as the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West. So that was reserved. And on my side, one of the reservations that was still available was a speaker to speak for an hour. So I had that available. The only thing was that the member for Aruka Maloney, who presented the motion, indicated to the speaker that she will not wind up the motion, she would leave the winding up to the Prime Minister. That's it. And after I used my hour, which I earned by being the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West, the member for Aruka Maloney asked the House, by way of the Speaker, for an extension of my time. The Speaker heard her and put that motion to the House. The Speaker didn't make that decision. That was done by the Speaker at the request of the member for Aruka Maloney, who asked that my time be extended, and the Speaker didn't say yes or no, The Speaker put the motion to the floor and it was voted upon. So I don't know why the opposition leader is attacking the Speaker. This is not the Speaker making a decision for the Speaker. It is the Speaker doing her job, receiving the motion from Aruka Maloney, putting it to the floor. It was voted upon. The majority said yes. The minority said no. The Speaker gave it to the majority. That was the carrying part of it because the majority is the majority. And that is all. The opposition leader must not be allowed to twist that into some wrongdoing on the part of the Speaker, on my part, or the part of the member for Maloney. This is normal parliamentary practice, and that it is not the first time in our parliament or in any other Commonwealth parliament where an extension of time has been granted. I seem to remember that happening before in my time. But even before my time, go back and find out when Dr. Williams spoke about the Wooding Commission report, how much time he spoke for. Because it's available if a speaker is speaking and the House decides, and if I'm not mistaken, there's provision for a speaker to be voted down too. Because if you are carrying on in tedious repetition and you are challenged, you can be stopped.
It's only when a bill is critical of the government that the government can now switch around its speed.
So we're not really going to hear the questions coming from the media, which is, unfortunate that we're not able to hear the we're not able to hear the questions coming from the media. All right? But Trinidad and Tobago, my time is coming to an end. And I have some good news for you guys, which is to remind you all on Friday, all right, on Friday, this Friday from 11:05, I will be having two representatives from Tobago. Let me tell you who they are. I'm going to be having Mr. Kelvin Morris, and also I'll be having Mr. Keston Devines. All right, Mr. Kelvin Morris and Mr. Keston Devines, and they will be on with me on Friday to talk about the bill and to give you some clear information. You'll be able to take your calls and you'll be able to get into the discussion. So please join me this Friday, all right? This Friday, spread the word around. This Friday, 11:05, we will be having two Tobagonians with me, all right? Mr. Keston Devines and Mr. Morris, all right? They will be with me on Friday to talk about the bill. So here's what I have to leave with Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all very, very much for being patient with me. And yes, on Friday, we're going to be having those two young men from Tobago, and they will be taking your calls. And yes, they will be giving you all the information that you will need. All right? So I'll talk to you all tomorrow, please God. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be having